Well, hello, everyone. Hi there. How's everyone doing? How's everyone? Hey, welcome to Educational Moments with Dr. Naita. Hey, we have an exciting show planned for this evening. We're talking about your why, understanding your why, because your why is your everything. So, look, grab some paper, grab a pencil, share this link with a friend, and come on back because we have a great show planned. All right. Well, hello. Well, welcome again. Look, we're just going to jump right in. Look, I have a very special guest. Now, if you have been with me for a while, then you know you have seen this young man before. He is phenomenal. But we're going to bring in other than Mr. Josh Colson. Come on in here, Josh. Come on in.
How's it going? How's it going?
It's so good. Thank you. Thank you. I
No problem.
appreciate you being here this evening. Look, Josh, tonight we have tonight I really wanted to take my time and just jump into a topic that you and I had shared, we talked about, but it is just really a vital topic, and that is understanding your purpose,
Yeah.
understanding the why you do the things that you do. So, before we jump in, again, would you please just introduce yourself, tell people who you are, and just a little bit about yourself, and then we'll dig in.
Gotcha. Hello, everyone. My name is Joshua Colson. I'm a 22-year-old Jacksonville native. I graduated from Florida State College at Jacksonville, getting my associate's degree, and I went on to Rollins College where I studied sociology, and I also had some international travel as well. About who I am, I like to keep my life simple. I like to play my role to the best of my ability in different aspects of my life, if that's being a better son, being a better student of life, being a better employee, but always seeking to grow and help other people grow as well. So that's who I am, and currently I'm working on my job well done. Thank you.
Oh, ooh, love it. So, Josh, I want to share a quote that impacted my life many years ago. And I'm going to share my screen now and just want to talk about this. This was Dr. Miles Monroe. And he said, when you do not understand your why, abuse is inevitable. So when you do not understand the purpose of a thing, abuse is inevitable. And, this is just so very true. I remember I was at West Angeles Church of God in Christ at a women's conference, and he spoke. And this was many years ago. And he talked about that. And he talked about how you can have an extremely valuable piece of artwork. But if someone doesn't know the purpose of that artwork, they'll end up using it as an ashtray, you
Right.
know and that's how so many people treat their lives. They don't understand the true purpose of them being created, them being born. They don't understand that there are things that they're here to do. They were put
Right.
on this earth to do. So with that, let's look at a couple of things that I wanted to talk about tonight. Number one, I wanted our focus to really be on two things. One, you are here for a purpose. There's work you need to do. And I want to speak to high school and college students specifically. And that is to let them know and to remind them that their education is part of their foundation, and that foundation to fulfill the purpose that they are here for.
Correct.
And so those are the key things that I wanted to talk about tonight. Um, I also share with students all the time that you truly have to understand the purpose of education. You have to understand the purpose of that K-12 system, that kindergarten and 12th grade system, and then that 12 to 16 system, which is your 13 to 16 system, which is your 4-year college. Now, I'm going to say this. Yes, I am an educator. Yes, I am a college administrator. But no, I do not believe that everyone needs to have a 4-year college degree. I don't
Right.
believe that. I do believe that everybody needs the basic foundation, their high school diploma at the minimum, and they'll need to continue to retool themselves so that they can earn maybe industry certifications or become masters at something, which will require training and education. So education has two purposes. One again is to teach you how to make a living. And then the second one is to teach you how to live and think critically. And that critically piece is the one that I find to be the most valuable. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen right here if it'll go away, because I'm trying to make it go away. And I want to talk to you. Let's just, jump into some questions. So, Josh, at what point in your life did you did you begin questioning your purpose and why you were here? What is my purpose? What am I doing? At what point in your life did you start questioning that, considering that question?
I would say back in middle school,
Okay.
even prior to then, I've always been very intuitive. I always ask why and I always ask how. But during that time, I was able to understand a lot more about my living situation with my mother and some of her struggles. And I always told myself that it has to be more.
Hmm.
Um, it has to be something greater than what I'm seeing. And that's when I started questioning my why and my purpose. Um, and doing so, I would seek God in that. I would seek why certain things happen. I would seek why certain people draw to me. And I will also spend some time by myself. Um,
Okay.
Education is very important. One of those goals while in middle school was I knew I wanted to do dual enrollment so I can get the education part out the way, so I
Hmm.
can start gaining resources to not only be a blessing to myself, but allow that to overflow into the lives of people around me. Um, and that's pretty much when I started asking my why. I would
Hmm.
say this, in doing so, I would tell any college or high school student or any person watching is in life, you have to pinpoint the goal, then seek the process. And that's when I started asking myself, okay, what's this goal for this season? And what's the process that I have to go through? And when am I supposed to start? When am I supposed to finish? And how am I supposed to transition?
That is phenomenal. And I always find it fascinating when I meet people who ask these questions, who knew what they wanted to do and who they wanted to become. They knew
Right,
that at an early age. I'm always fascinated when I
right.
see that, because your girl here, she came by the mountain, the way of the mountainside.
I
Okay.
got
I
you.
came the road traveled by many. Okay.
Right.
And it that wasn't my journey. That's not definitely not my testimony. I was definitely the one who did not even begin questioning my why until I was already home from my first
Mm,
college experience.
got you.
So, my first college experience, I tell anyone I majored in going to college. I did. And I did just enough work to be able to stay there. But no, I had no sense of purpose. I'm
Mm,
here because this is the next step in education. You finish high school, go to
go to
college. At least
college.
that's what my parents had told me. But I really didn't take that time to really delve into my purpose and the why and what's my passion and what am I seeking? What do I want to do? I was at the club turning up. I was at the
I
20
got you.
grand in Tuskegee, Alabama, having
Okay.
a good time.
Yeah.
So, and it's so funny, Josh, because I was completing some paperwork this week at for my job. I was trying to do some additional credentialing and what have you. So I had to pull my Tuskegee transcript. Oh, Jesus. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. I don't understand how academic advisors allowed me to move forward. It's like they were
Mhm.
setting me up for failure. But I know this was a long time ago, which then truly helps me see why I push so hard to create pathways for students to
Right.
succeed and to put think resources into their pathway so they can be successful. Because Josh, I did not pass the first semester. I did not pass intermediate algebra.
Mm.
Okay. In Florida, that's MAT 1033. I didn't
Right.
pass it.
I remember
Okay.
that
I didn't
class.
fail it, but I didn't pass it either.
Okay.
There's a grade between passing and failing. Okay. And I
Right.
got that one right in the middle.
You got it.
So, so the next semester, I took Mac 1140, which is, no, not Mac 1114, which is pre-calculus trig. No, it
Okay.
was 1140. Who does that? I didn't pass intermediate algebra. What were they doing? What were they doing? And the same goes true. I took introduction to chemistry. I got that grade that's stuck in between passing and failing.
Yeah.
And they put me in general chemistry the next semester.
Mm.
I didn't pass. I didn't pass. So again, this really, funnels or fuels my why as to why I go so hard for my students,
Right.
and through the years, how I have challenged things and processes and fought for my students because I want to make sure everything is in the pathway so that they can succeed. And now looking back on my transcript, which I haven't that in years, I see now why I was going so hard. But in addition to that, there was a judge that I worked for when I first came home from college after my first year. I got through my junior year, and then Tuskegee told me, please don't come back. I said, okay. So, but I ended up with a great job working in the criminal court system, and I was working with this judge, Commissioner Burns. And I used to talk to him all the time, and he gave me this book. He said, Naita, you have to read this book. You have to read this book. And I did, and it changed my life. It changed the entire trajectory of my life. So the book is this, The Miseducation of the Negro by Carter G. Woodson. And I just want to share a little passage from it, if you don't mind, Josh. Is that okay? Can
I
I
don't
share a little
mind.
passage?
I'm a guest.
It says that if you can control a man's thinking, you do not have to worry about his actions.
Yeah.
When you determine what a man shall think, you do not have to concern yourself about what he will do. If you make a man feel that he is inferior, you do not have to compel him to accept an inferior status, for he will seek it for himself. If you make a man think that he is justly an outcast, you do not have to order him to a back door. He will go without being told. And if there is no back door, his very nature will demand one. And I
Mm.
highlighted that some 30 years ago, and it's just been a fire for me because just that the book changed my life. That
Right.
passage right there really, really helped me understand the power of the mind, the
Right.
power of critical thinking, because the mind can be used to help push you, to lift you, to uplift you, make you go forward, or the mind, your mind can be used to you back. It's in your mind. So as an educator,
Definitely.
and I'm going to share that last statement, as an educator, that has just always been my focus, with my students is challenging them to think it through, to
Right.
determine their why, understand why they're doing the things they do, understand why, they're choosing the actions that they decide to do. So that's all. This is a book that has impacted me significantly, has changed my life, and definitely, made me question my purpose and what it was
Mm.
that I'm supposed to do while I'm here. Do you have any comment or anything you want to share? You don't have to. I'm putting you on the
I
spot.
believe it's a powerful quote. And I feel like right now we're not going through any back doors. If anything, we're building our own homes, our own houses, our own our own foundations, and we're going through the front door of something that we created. So as it relates to the mind, it also relates to who we are as African Americans, who we are as Black people as well during this climate. And having that being said, we don't have to ask. We can always reconstruct. So
I love it. I love it. Yes, we can. Yes, it's our choice, mine, because there are so many who are not seeing this picture. You know,
right,
they are still using their mind is still holding them back.
right,
And of course, there are different obstacles and things that are in the way.
definitely.
But, again, the purpose of education is to help you think critically so that you can find ways around the barriers and the barricades that have been placed to try to hinder you. So, Josh, tell me this. At what time in your life did you decide that you wanted more? Was that also in middle school?
No, ma'am. When I started working, I had my first
Hmm.
job at Publix. I only applied to one job, and I was very persistent on getting that job. I went every Tuesday to speak to the manager, and she finally broke and said, "Okay, Josh, I'm going to schedule you for an interview." And at that point, she didn't schedule the interview. She just interviewed me on the spot, and I received the job. And that started my journey to how this world works and how money works and the things that you have to do to get it, and how it could be used as a resource. I realized that I was making $8 an hour.
Hmm.
At that time, I was, I believe, 15 years old. So I was only making $30 a week because of school.
Hmm.
And I was
30
saving up,
hours a week,
no, I'm
$30
sorry,
or 30
30
hours?
$30 a week.
Oh,
Three,
wow.
30.
Because you could only work so many hours per week because you weren't
Correct.
16 yet. Okay. Okay.
Correct. So I was saving for my first car starting
At $30 a week.
at
Okay.
$30 a week. And I realized that was
You're gonna be
sacrifice.
saving for a while.
So I started like in March. So I still had that summer to grind out and get, a little bit more hours. But I realized that I didn't contemplate, Dr. Naida. I didn't contemplate looking for another job or looking for more money. I appreciated what I had at that time. And I used what I possessed at that time to get the things that I didn't possess. So
Mm-hmm.
in doing that, I caught the bus. I got dropped off. I walked. And what changed my life was I had a watch. It was a black Casio watch from Walmart, and it was my daily watch. It had multiple uses. It was my church watch. It was my school watch. It was my work watch. And my watch it was breaking down. It was popping. I had to put rubber bands on it.
Oh, Lord.
And my aunt, she said, Josh, it's okay to buy a watch. Go get you another watch. And I said, no, I have a goal to get my first car. And from that point, I realized that sacrificing and allowing one thing to break down to where I'm at to the point to where I can own multiple watches helped
Mm-hmm.
motivate me to desire more, but also it helped inform me how money works. I said, it took me 1 hour to make $8.
Mm.
And now with me being older, that's a long time to make a small amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe some people watching could attest, you look at your wage, that's a long time to make a certain amount of money. So I started asking myself, how can I get in systems? How can I get in arenas? How can I network with different individuals to put myself to where my hour is not just making $8, but my hour is growing and it's not taking a full hour of work to do so. But during
Right.
that time, with me being so young, I was just
Mm-hmm.
looking at, accomplishing getting my first car so I can go to school. We say in my family, stay down until you can come up. And that's what I did. So at that point, that's when I started
I
realizing that
love it.
I wanted more in life, um, from a material aspect. I wanted more in
Mm-hmm.
life from in terms of how I use my time, because
Okay.
that's our highest commodity. You can own things, but you can lose them and get them back in a lifetime. One thing you can't get back in your lifetime is your time. And that's something that you want to get the
That's true.
highest return on. You want to get the highest return on your time. So that's around that time. my first job.
Okay. Okay. I love it. I love it. So, Josh, you've had a chance to travel. You've had the chance to
Correct.
travel, worldwide traveling with the passport and everything. So
We
tell
had a
me about
chance.
that. Tell me about it.
So I say not just I say we had a chance to travel because one of my goals of going to Rollins College was to do international studies, and I shared that experience because I was the first person in my family to travel on an international scale. So that's why I say we traveled. That was a
Hmm.
goal of mine because I wanted to go to a place that I've never been before, and that didn't really look like America. It wasn't too Western. So I
Hmm.
went to Hong Kong, and I had an opportunity to study a marketing course, and I went to Macau as well. And I shared that experience on my Facebook, and I shared that with my friends and my family that
I went
maybe
with you.
you
I went
did.
with you. I
so,
was with you. Yes.
so we traveled, and
Yeah.
um, prior to traveling, I had a purpose. And
Hmm.
back to the first question, I didn't contemplate too much. I just moved. I did what I had to do to make sure that I made it to China. So a story from that, we went to this fisherman's village, and you can only get there by boat from
Hmm.
Hong Kong. And we stayed there for a couple of days. And prior to that, like I just described in my previous answer, was I was looking at success in terms of what you possess, but not necessarily what you had internally.
Okay.
So going to this fisherman's village, I'm looking at this green water, I'm looking at these mountains, and we're riding into a village that's literally built on the water.
Hmm.
So the homes are leaning, but the people are greeting us. The people are welcoming us as the economy is tourism and also what's in the water. And what I
Hmm.
mean by that is whatever they can get out of the water is what they sell. So you
Right.
would walk and you would see people selling the same thing, but still in harmony. So during that time, I stayed, I believe it was at a monastery, um, where I learned how to meditate. And that was my first time ever meditating. And that was the hardest thing because I never trained my mind to not focus on so much.
Hmm.
So that was a very powerful thing. And seeing kids not have technology and being able to play and have fun and not focus on the next thing, but focus on what's in front of them, focus on what they have and be present changed my life. The way of the people that were in that society and how they lived a life so simple and so full of spiritual wealth definitely changed the trajectory of how I looked at success and how I move forward ever since.
Awesome. That is such an incredible experience. And I just want to clarify that when I said I went with you, I don't want people to think that I was actually with you. I get all kind of weird messages in my inbox.
I got
But
you.
no, I went with him. I followed him on his social media
Yes.
accounts. So just want to clarify that.
Okay.
All right.
Definitely.
But that experience led to your realization that a lot of times we are chasing so many things at the same time
Correct.
that we really get a whole lot accomplished. And that's because we're not really focused
Mm,
on what's the big goal here.
right.
How does this fit into the big plan of what I'm trying to accomplish?
Right.
And these are, again, these are skills and these are strategies that I'm committed to helping students, develop. Josh, I have this goal where I want to reach. I just, really realize, that's the number I want. That's the number I want. I want to reach 100,000 students.
Yeah, you
a
will.
hundred thousand, and because when I look back on my resume and it says that, I helped more than 1,000 students earn their high school diploma and their AA degree at the same time. That is give me some, give me some, give me some. All right.
Definitely.
When and I was like, wow, and that's, what we've done in the past. And now with, the technology and things being the way they are now, I should be able to just blow that number up exponentially. And I can't get the word out. And So 100,000 is a good number, but I have to be focused, and that's the
Right.
thing that I really want to share with students today. And this is who this show is for. This show is for my high school and college students, that you have to be focused. Yes, you can have fun, not saying don't have fun, but you have to put everything in priorities, put it in perspective. There are times when you really have to guard your time,
Definitely.
guard your time, guard your
Ooh,
time. And
I
just
want to
like
speak
when
on
you
that.
talked about, okay, just like you spoke about, it would take a whole hour to make $8. Well, sometimes it will take you 2 hours to do an assignment that really should have only taken you 15 minutes, but you won't turn the doggone cell phone off.
It's very true.
Okay. You won't turn it off. You won't hit the do not disturb. I was sharing with students just yesterday. I said that, you all gung ho at the beginning of the semester. Josh, I was telling you yesterday, this is midterms. This is,
Right.
we're in the middle of the semester right now. And you all gung ho in August. You're all gung ho in September. But by the end of October, now you're getting tired.
Hmm.
You're getting weary. And I'm like, better pretend like you at the club. Better pretend like you at the football game. Okay, keep that momentum up. You have to stay focused. So, but that comes with understanding my why. Why am I here? What is my passion? What do I love doing? Now, how can I monetize that? How can I make
Right.
a living out of that?
Right.
And those are the things that formal education and that whole process can help you determine. So again, I am a proponent of education. Of course I am. Of course I am. I believe in it. Am I a proponent of 4-year degrees, 6 years, 8 years? If that's your career goal, but no, I
Right.
don't think you should do your 8 years of college to and then you want to become a mechanic. No, you could have taken a different route.
Right. Earlier.
And it would have gotten you into the workforce a little sooner. So but I appreciate that. I appreciate you sharing your experience with your travel around the world. So, did that experience impact your long-term goals or the things that you're trying to do further with your life?
It did. Um, it created a sense of balance between
Mm-hmm.
my whys. Life
Mm-hmm.
is not all about what have, what you physically
Mm-hmm.
have. Sometimes it's about, are you able to enjoy simply going to get some ice cream? Are you able to, are you able to enjoy what you possess
That's right.
because you have everything that you need? So, being that I've already had international travel, that was a short-term goal checked off my list. And another goal that it checked off was to be able to show other people that you can do that as well. I
Mm-hmm.
did substitute for a little while after college, and I had a student. He came up. He was like, "Man, I want to be a fashion designer. I want to go to China, but I don't know nobody that ever been to China." And I laughed, and I just pulled out
Who
my
knew?
phone and
Yeah.
I showed him pictures
Mm-hmm.
of China and I showed him that I was able to go and that you can go as well. You just have to put yourself in position. You have to suppress your flesh
Yes.
and increase your focus. It's not all about you having it right now. It's about seeking the process. Um, I guess, like I said in my introduction, a long-term goal of mine is working on my job well done. And
Mm-hmm.
parts of that is leaving behind a legacy, leaving behind residue of things that I've done and how I made people feel. And in addition to that, you can only do that if you invite how people make you feel. If
Mm-hmm.
you open up your heart, if you open up your mind to not contemplate experiences, but move on them and learn and grow from
Absolutely.
them. So this trip definitely motivated me and checked off some short-term goals and still checking off long-term goals.
Awesome. That is
Yeah.
awesome. Well, it's really funny how you share about, it's that give and take. It's not
Right.
just what you're experiencing, it's what you're receiving from others, what you're giving back.
Right.
And that's one of the things that I've always enjoyed about education, because
Mm.
I love students. I love interacting with students, and I love learning from students and sharing their experiences. So you introduced me to an organization several years ago when you were still
Yes.
in high school. And you asked me to write a recommendation for you. And I didn't know the organization. I had probably heard of it in passing, but I didn't know the organization. So, like, oh, write Josh a letter? you know. And they actually
Yeah.
called, and they was like, they said, we've already gone through the whole process, but this is such a great letter. Is he really all of that? And I'm like, he's that and then some.
Mm.
And the name of that organization, I just can't help but continue to give them props, to give them shout
Definitely.
outs. So want to do a little commercial break real quick. And that is
That's
for,
good.
let me share the screen without, actually ending the show. But it's 100 Black Men of Jacksonville. I love this organization.
Yes.
You were a recipient of their scholarship, and from there, I've recommended a few other students, and then my own. She is a recipient. This is her third year receiving support from 100 Black Men of Jacksonville. And, I'm really appreciative. So I really just wanted to, give a shout out to 100 Black Men.
Shout out. Amazing
Just say
organization.
shout out. It is. It is. It truly is. So, Josh, do you have any final words of encouragement that you could give to a high school or college student who are,
Yes.
still in the middle of the semester and they're getting restless and unfortunately there are some that are, thinking about giving up because, let's just be real. COVID has been a real struggle. It has been a
Yeah.
real struggle for some, and there are some students who are truly struggling with technology. There are internet issues. There are some that are struggling financially. There are students out there that are struggling. So I'm just wondering, Josh, do you have any words of encouragement?
Definitely. I have a couple words of encouragement.
I have a couple.
The first thing is know your role and play your role as a student. If that's your priority, if that's your goal, play that role as a student and prioritize your roles in your life. If you have other things going on, prioritize that. But if your role is to be a student and you signed up to take these courses and you're paying to take these courses,
Hey,
regardless
that
of
part.
the regardless of the obstacles, focus on the goal, seek the process because it's nothing but referrals and resources for information. You're going to need to go through these obstacles because you don't know why you're necessarily going through them. But at some point in your life, you may be able to use that for someone else, and you may be able to see a similar situation once you enter the workforce, once you
Mhm.
enter entrepreneurship, once you enter transitioning from one city to another city. So seek the process while you play your role. The next thing I would say is focus and prioritize your why. Focus on your why and prioritize that as well, in addition to your role. The next thing I would say is manifest will, the life that you desire, and pray it's in the will of God. So manifest what you would like in life and
What
embrace
does
the
that
thing.
mean? What does that mean? Manifest
Speak
what you would like.
speaking into existence. Put
Okay. So
yourself
you
into
stop, oh, this is never going to happen for me.
right,
Oh, this is always, dog, nothing ever works
right,
out. Hmm.
right. Manifest it. Before I went to school, my school was very expensive. My mother is a teacher. I asked God for one thing. God help me get through school financially. Every semester, I do not know how I got through school. I was I was blessed with help from a roommate, but I got through school with very
Oh,
minimal
okay.
debt spiritually,
Hmm. Hmm.
honestly. So
Hmm.
manifest what it is that you want. And I checked off. I made a desk with sticky notes of everything I want to do in school. All my sticky
Okay.
notes were gone, and I checked off more.
Good. Good.
So focus on the process.
Like that. I like
Seek
that.
the process, things going on at home, things going on in your person. Seek the process, stay focused, and pray whatever you desire in life is in the will of God. I have a couple more, and then we'll wrap up.
You're fine.
Take advantage of what you possess to obtain the things that you don't.
Say that again.
Take advantage of what you
Mhm.
already possess within yourself to
Okay.
ob- to obtain the things that you don't have, that you
Can you give
don't
an
possess.
example? Can you give an
Uh,
example?
for example, if you have a talent, if you have a skill, and you're seeking a job, see how you can manifest that into what you want that job to look like for yourself. Does that make sense?
It does,
So
but can you go a little bit deeper?
a little bit deeper. So how else can I break this down? I feel like in life, when you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. So if you're saying yes to
Right. It's
focusing
called
on the goal,
opportunity cost. Yeah, that's in business. We
opportunity
call that
cost.
an opportunity cost. Yes.
So in saying that, instead of thinking about gaining more skills and more attributes, think about what you already have and how
Hmm.
you could use those to get those. I'm still not specifying an example,
No,
but
okay. I think this is what you're saying, Josh. This is what I think
yeah,
you're saying is that a lot of times we have talents and skills within us that we can use right now to
right,
help someone else or to we can monetize and make some money right now to
right,
accommodate a need. So, for instance, you could be in a dorm right now and you know good and well your grandmama taught you how to cook. You can cook your
right,
face off, okay?
right,
So you could make some food, you know, and then fry up some chicken and you know do some things
right,
and sell that stuff, okay, so that you can
right,
buy your books next semester.
right,
Or you know, they're just a host of different things. Some people are, you know, really great at you know, putting clothes together, you
right,
know, and putting outfits together. Help your friends send a bill. Okay, not to knock their heads off, you know,
right.
but you know, give them some ideas and you know, and then ask them. I remember in, I think it was in New York, this person. Oh, I remember the story now. This person was just walking around and he would just take pictures of people and then say, "Hey, I'm gonna send this picture to you. You know, I saw you sitting there. I thought it was a great picture, and just
Right.
send it to you." And he said, "And if you want, you know, send me, you know, some cash. Here's my cash app." And people
Right.
would just start sending them, you know, money, $5 here. Oh, that is a good shot of me here. I can
Right.
send you a couple dollars, you know, that kind of thing. And then he deleted the pictures, you know, not gonna see them later. At least he said it.
Right.
But there are just, you know, different ways that you
Perfect.
can use your gifts and your talents right now to
Right.
help others and, you know, generate income for yourself. I think that's what you're saying.
Yes, those are perfect examples. Um, and the last thing I would say is use what you've learned and what you've been through as a testament,
Yes.
motivation, and resource, not a crutch.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
So everything you've been through was predestined. Everything
Right.
that you've learned was predestined. And it's been predestined for you to use that as your motivation, for you to be able to refer back to it, and
Mm-hmm.
ultimately for you to use it as a testament. So I would say that everything extra, any extra stress that's not, you're not getting a return on your time on your highest commodity, put it to the side.
Put
At
it
least
to
for
the
today.
side. Put it to the side. Yeah, at least for now. For
At least
now.
for
You
today.
know, there's, you know, yes, absolutely. I
So
couldn't agree with you more. You know, it's
yeah,
so important that you just, especially at this time right now, especially during COVID, when you're taking so many classes online, you
right,
know, even if students are on campus, still a lot of the classes are held online. So you keep
right,
thinking you have time. I have time to do the work. I have time. I have time. I did a workshop yesterday and I told everybody, turn the camera on. I see all these little avatars. Turn the cameras on. One girl, I'm trying to fix my wig. I said, boo, go on and fix it and turn that camera on. Okay. And
right,
then another person's like, now he got to sit up in the bed. Like, if y'all don't get up out the bed, okay, trying to take a college class from your bed is not the thing, okay? Get out the bed, go sit at your desk, go sit at the kitchen, sitting in the, I don't know, in the lobby area, go somewhere, where you can get
You got
out the
work.
bed and do, yes,
You got
this
work to
is
do.
your job. This is your job right now. Going to school is your job. Treat it as such. So, yeah, definitely understanding. So that's what I wanted to talk about again. Understanding your why, because your why is your everything. If you can get your
Yeah,
why in focus, why I'm here, what am I doing? If you can get your why in focus, then everything else will fall in line.
definitely.
Everything else. All right. Josh, I appreciate you. Thank you so
Thank
much for
you.
hanging out with me
No
tonight.
problem. I appreciate you as
All
well.
right. You take care,
Yes, ma'am.
Josh.